Quick beginner video here. We're going to talk about 3 row variations. We're going to talk about the barbell row, the dumbbell row, and the cable row. All 3 of them are great and you can pick which one you want. A couple principles are true across the board for all 3 of these row variations. The first one is locking your upper body in place. Okay, that basically means you want to find the comfortable angle that gives you the fullest range of motion and you want to stay there. There are some row variations where you're basically using a lot of body English to get the thing accomplished. I'm thinking of the pendulum row, but that's a little more advanced. That's for performance athletes, that's for power lifters. Just find the comfortable angle that gives you the fullest range of motion and stay there. Second principle that's true across the board for all 3 of these row variations is to have some scapular control. There's some coaches that say you should keep your scapula locked and only think about moving your elbows behind your body. That's good advice, but in my opinion, and in the program that we developed down in the description below, you're using the row as your primary upper back builder, so try to get as much muscle of your upper back involved as possible. So have some scapular control. Let your shoulders come forward a little bit and then pull your shoulders back at the top of every rep. Now I'm not letting them come forward so much that I'm rounding at my upper back, but I am unpacking my scapula, which is your shoulder blades, unpacking the scapula and then pulling it together at the top of each rep. The third principle that's true, in my opinion, across the board, is pulling more towards your midsection. So if you're pulling up high like this, it's great for your rear delts and it is getting your upper back, but I notice that I feel it a lot more and my customers feel it a lot more when they're pulling the weight more towards their belly button. So now that we know these 3 principles across the board, keep that in mind with all 3 of these row variations. Let's talk about the peculiars of each and every one. First, let's start with the barbell row. So the barbell row, you have a couple options here. You can either take it off the rack or you can pick it up off the ground. It's totally up to you. Use what's available. The second thing has to do with head position. So for some of my customers, some of our clients, we tell them to look straight ahead because when they're trying to keep their neck in line with the rest of their spine, they start to round forward. So pay attention to what you're doing. If you notice you're looking down and it's causing you to round, then just look straight ahead. Another issue I see beginners make is they'll take a mixed grip. Okay, mixed grip is great for deadlifting. Fantastic for deadlifting. But in this case, we want equal activation of both sides, as equal as we can get, of both sides of our lats, of our upper back. So either take a double overhand or a double underhand grip. I'm gonna let you decide. And again, keep the first 3 principles in mind as you're completing this movement. Now let's talk about the dumbbell row. Very simple, 1 knee, 1 hand on the bench, other foot flat on the ground, and you're using your free hand to row the dumbbell. Couple issues I see beginners make. The first one is they make a lot of rotation here. Okay, it's okay if your shoulder's moving, if it's your scapula, your shoulder blade that's causing the shoulder to move. But if you notice you're rotating to complete the movement, that's not the exercise we're doing here. Okay, lighten it up and make sure you're doing it correctly. You're getting a good full range of motion and some scapular retraction. Although I already talked about this at the beginning, it bears repeating on this exercise in particular. If you think about pulling it more towards your midsection, I think about pulling it into my pocket. You're gonna feel it a lot more in your upper back. A lot of guys will basically grab it and they'll kind of row like this, almost like a curl, like a horizontal curl. And you're like, ah man, I don't feel anything in my upper back, I never get sore, I never get development. Well, if you're rowing like this, you're not gonna get any development. You're basically just doing a curl. So instead, keep your elbow closer to your side and pull towards your midsection. Again, I think about pulling it into my pocket. And as always, keep the first 3 principles in mind, and your head position is gonna completely depend on you. Either look straight ahead or you can try to keep your back in line with the rest of your spine, but pay attention to what's going on with the rest of your body based on where you're putting your head. The third and final row variation we're gonna talk about is the cable row. Okay, this is very user-friendly. It's basically a lot of the same principles of the barbell row. I think the major advantage of this is that you can choose the handle that you want. So figure out what's comfortable, what allows a nice full range of motion. And it's very easy to load this exercise. So instead of loading on plates or if for a dumbbell row carrying the dumbbell back and forth, you literally just move the pin up and down. A lot of people that come into the gym that are fresh, brand new, never lifted a weight in their life, sometimes I'll start them on the cable row. Not because I think it's superior, but because I think it's less intimidating. So this is a quick beginner video to coincide with our beginner program down in the description. So we have a beginner program. It's a 10-week program. It's the first 10 weeks in the gym. It talks about nutrition. It dispels a lot of myths. There's a lot of people that come in and have a lot of wrong ideas when they walk into the gym. And then it actually gives you a 10-week program. From day 1, you walk into the gym, you have no idea what you're doing, all the way through week 10. So if you're somebody that's new to the gym, then make sure you check that out. Look at the program. I think it'll help you out a lot. I'm Alex Wallace. This channel is a more complete beast, but I'm right here at Wallace Fitness Center where we do our fitness videos. If you like the video, don't forget to like the video. If you're interested in seeing more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. Again, I'm Alex Wallace. This is a more complete beast, and I'll see you in the next video.